everybody. Ella J here on behalf of WrestleZone, and today I am joined by Mac Daddy Mylo. Mylo, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm fantastic to be catching up with you. It's been over a year now, but you've been really, I think, soaring your way up, especially the West Coast scene. But before we get into wrestling, of course, I have to ask, how is Veda?
She's doing swell. She's actually just giving me the side eye right now. It's pretty early in the morning. She's not a morning girl, but I
Mm.
made her eat her food, took her for her walk.
Okay, so you already gave her food and treats. That's how my morning routine
So,
is with my cats.
yeah, all that good. She's not a morning person though, so I mean, she takes after me. It's crazy how they actually adapt to your personality. But other than that, she's doing so good. I'm actually taking her to some wrestling shows, ones that are outdoors, and they let me bring her. It's amazing. She's slowly getting used to it, hearing the ring and stuff and hearing
Mhm.
people's bodies get slammed against the floor. Not her favorite, but she's getting used to it. And it makes me so happy. And everyone loves her. So it's really nice.
Now, for those who don't know, what kind of dog is Veda?
That's a good question. I actually did a DNA test because when I adopted her, they said she was German Shepherd. But I did that DNA test where you like swap her spit. She's like Rottweiler, American Staffordshire Terrier, um, Chow Chow. I was like, what's the one with the necks? Like she has like a big like neck, and she
Yeah.
like sometimes when we're laying down, she'll like pull her head all the way back. It's
Yeah.
wild,
Oh,
but
that's awesome.
she's a whole mix of things, but 100% perfect.
Exactly. We love them just the way they are, even if they are annoying sometimes.
So
But but
annoying.
but that's just I think in general, it's unconditional love, you know?
100%.
But obviously, I wanted to talk about something exciting that you have coming up this weekend, which is an all-women show entitled Queen of the Indies in collaboration with West Coast Pro and Pro Wrestling Revolution. Of course, a big part of the show is the Queen of the Indies tournament, but there is a couple of other exciting matches happening which you will be a part of as you have a tag team match with Rochelle Riveter to take on Brooke Havoc and Johnny Robbie. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, it's your first time teaming with Riveter.
It is, yes. So usually we face each other in Vegas, but this time I think it's a good duo. I mean, we got MOM Mom, Mac Daddy, Mom and Dad. It's going to be great. I can already sense it. We got this in the bag.
Now, what are your thoughts heading into this match? What do you think fans can expect from this? Because Brooke Havoc is coming off of injury. She's been riding a lot of momentum, but Johnny Robbie's been kind of on her way up as well, I feel like.
Absolutely. I think all that they can expect is just fire emojis. Like this is 100% going to be a banger of a match. Great talent all across the board. I'm really grateful to be a part of something with an all-woman show. It feels amazing and I'm so grateful. I think it's going to be an amazing match going into it. I've worked with every single one of those ladies already, so I already know what to expect, but like I said, I think me and Rochelle Riveter got this in the bag.
But obviously, a big part of this is also the Queen of the Indies tournament, featuring competitors from Mexico, of course, Japan, and the United States. So you're not in it, but who do you think is maybe going to take home the crown in this Queen of the Indies tournament?
Whew, that's a good question. I'm thinking, Masha Slamovich, that's a hot one. There's Billy
Mhm.
Starks, that's another hot one. I don't even know. Uh, I'm gonna go with my girl Masha. She's been killing it. She's such a sweet girl too, and she deserves every bit of like greatness coming like to her. So, oh man, that's a hard one.
It is. And honestly, so all of these ladies obviously are amazing, but Hyon versus Masha Slamovich in the opening
Yeah.
round, that's a final that you could have right there, which is crazy to think about. One of them is going to be
Definitely.
knocked out in the first round, which is crazy to think about. But Masha's been killing it. I mean, GCW World Champ, Impact
Yes.
Wrestling, Hyun's also, she had like four titles at once, she
Yes.
won the Sherry Martel Classic last year, so she's held the crown before. But I'm excited for this because it's only like there's, I believe, second singles match together.
Oh,
Or the
okay.
first one was actually like only was 2 years ago. So it's been a while since they've squared off. So I'm excited for that. Masha, though, the Russian Dynamite, dare I say, is dark. I don't even know if she's a dark horse. I feel like everybody in this tournament is really kind of has a case to be made of why they could win.
100%. And I'm so excited to see it all unfold in real time. I'll be
Me
right there.
too. And like we alluded to before, there's a good variety of independent talent, obviously, but there is a lot of talent from all across the world that obviously aren't a part of this outside of Japan, Mexico, and the United States. There's the UK, there's Canada, there's all across Europe, everywhere. So if you could include one or two women, I mean, obviously, other than yourself, from the indies from anywhere across the world, who do you think maybe has a case to be made is the possible queen of the indies that's not in this tournament?
That's a really good question. I know Viva Van's been killing it, so I'm definitely gonna throw her name in there. Another one I would say would be, that's a great question, Ella. You are good with the questions today. Let's see.
I mean,
Hmm.
Viva is the face of the West, so I
De-
mean it's at West Coast Pro, so
Definitely.
like
I know, right? I think that would for sure be a good competitor. And I'm gonna pick someone East Coast now. East Coast, East Coast. But then again, there's all over the world.
mhm.
Hmm. I'm just gonna go ahead and just throw Mercedes Moné because I mean, come on, she's on Indies now. I mean, that's
She is the
pretty amazing.
CEO. I
Yeah,
mean, she
that's
might
pretty amazing.
we at the time of recording this, it's not. I guess technically it is next weekend because this weekend is the 13th. So technically
Yeah,
next weekend is Resurgence where she's going to be competing for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship again in a kind of global tournament. You have Mexico representation, Japan, and then obviously the United States with AEW with Willow Nightingale
yeah.
and Mercedes Moné. So I mean, and
I baffled.
I
Like
know.
I don't even, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so amazing. And I can't wait to see that too. Like so much women's wrestling going on right now. It's such a great time to be in this
Yeah.
like business. I am so appreciative and so grateful. And all these bangers that are about to come out right before summer too. What a good
Yeah.
time,
Yeah,
huh?
I'm curious for you, I know you fell off wrestling for a little bit, came back through like kind of the Total Divas era.
Mhm,
Obviously through that kind of we had a rivalry going on,
mhm.
Sasha Banks, Mercedes Moné rose through that. You've gotten to see everybody's gotten to see her grown. I'm kind of curious for your take on everything that she's doing like outside of WWE right now and like her current run and her trajectory that's God knows where she's going to land after New Japan.
Oh, for sure. I love it. One thing I've always loved about her is her confidence and how she knows what she's doing and she just goes out there with 100% all the time. And that's something I've always appreciated in her. She's a 100% one of my favorites, someone who I've looked up to and was like, whoa, I want to be like her.
And,
Definitely.
and who knows? I mean, never say never in wrestling. Maybe we could get a one-on-one sometime. I mean,
I would happily retire after that. Like,
fair.
I'd be like, all right, I'm good. If
She's
I
gonna,
had to retire, I'd be happy after
yeah,
that.
she's gonna be in Long Beach, which is in California. You've been a big part of the West Coast scene, especially, but you just had a match at Hoodslam. I know you've kind of become a regular there, competing in a fatal four-way for the best athlete in the East Bay title against Alley Catch, JTG, and Bartman. But somehow it ended up in both you and Alley Catch winning, and you are now the co-champions. Uh, so for those who don't know, can you kind of run us through what happened that night? How did we get to this point?
Oh, easy. All right. We were all going at it. We're all going ham. And then the next thing I know is I get knees to the face and I get pulled out. And I was about to take um a splash from Bartman, but then I see JTG jump up. He's about to get him. And I was like, wait, no way. I clearly remember being the first one to grab his leg and then slamming him down and rolling him up. Where Alley Catch came from, I have no idea. Couldn't tell you. I know I was there first. I know that 1, 2, 3 belongs to me. The other half of that belt belongs to me. So I guess we're just gonna have to settle that in the ring.
Now,
But
did she, because again, a lot of us haven't watched it yet.
mhm.
Did Alley Cats roll up JTG as the same time as you, or did she roll up Bartman?
She rolled up JTG. We both had a
Same
leg,
time.
I guess. But I had the leg first.
It's interesting.
And, unfortunately, my back was turned and I didn't see that. I would have like poked her in the eye or something and been like, no. But yeah, so for now, I'm sharing it. Whatever, it's fine. I'll get the other half back. Don't worry. But now I have to go through Alley Catch, and let me say that's a big competitor. I am very excited, but also
Now, how does this work? Because you can't physically take half of something. So who has possession of this title?
so it's actually fanny packs. It's two
Oh
fanny
yeah,
packs. It split half. So she took one, I took the other.
there you
But like I
go.
said, the other one's rightfully mine. Like, come on, watch the footage. Let me know what you
Okay.
think. Get back to me. But it was me. It was
Okay.
me.
I'm curious to kind of going off of the title name, other than yourself, who do you think may be the best athlete within the entire American wrestling scene? Whose athleticism really wows you?
It's America. Who I really think has really good athleticism, who doesn't get enough credit, would be Dana Brooke. I think she's amazing, and I love her move set, and she doesn't get a lot of credit for what she does.
No, her entrance is I can't even do that. It's not like a cartwheel, it's like a flip kind of. I
Yeah,
can't even do that. She's
yeah.
she's so good, and I agree with you. She doesn't get enough credit, but she really is, and she's a great physique as well. I think just all around she's kind of an underrated or underappreciated athlete in the sport. But I wanted to talk about Hoodslam for a moment too. Like I said, you've kind of become a regular there, and obviously it's largely run by Dark Sheik, who we love here. So can you talk about more about your experience working there and some of the standout moments that you've had so far?
Definitely. Hoodslam gave me a chance and just kept rolling with it. And I'm forever grateful to Dark Sheik. And a standout moment would 100% have to be my I Quit match with her. She wanted to get me out so bad. And I was like, wait, why? You were welcoming me with open arms, and then now you're over here wanting me to quit. I look at it now as more of a proving ground. And I think in that I Quit match, I really proved myself. The match itself, the fact that I even went 20 minutes, like, is crazy. That was a 20-minute match. That was my first 20-minute match I've ever done. Did some crazy stuff. I got stapled in the head on my arms, was bleeding. Almost went through a table, but then I Uno reversed and put Cheek through the table. So that was cool.
But you're
Um,
officially hardcore now.
just a little bit, just a little bit. That's 100% one of my standout moments. Hoodslam's an amazing show, and I'm grateful for the platform that they give me. The flyers are always so great, after comic books. I
Mhm.
love it. It's an amazing company to work for, and I'm forever grateful.
And I feel like it's a huge staple, especially in California. And you've been there for a while now. How long have you exactly been in Cali now?
7 years, a while. Yeah,
Awesome.
like 7.5 years.
Yeah, time flies by so fast. Little 22-year-old Mylo, like traveling across the world. Well, not across the world, across the country, I should say.
My
Uh,
little car,
I
yeah.
know, but you recently took a trip back home to Virginia. So can you tell us a little bit more about your trip? What did you do while you were there?
So it had to be just a quick trip because I did notice I didn't have anything wrestling wise that weekend. So I was like, I'm gonna go home. I haven't gone home since my grandfather's funeral last year. So I was like, okay, I gotta make it a point to go home. So I went home. It was only for like 4 whole days, but it was fine. It's hard because everybody wants to see you at once.
Yeah.
And I showed a lot of my friends that I've grown up with. They've seen me grow my wrestling videos. I actually showed them my I Quit match. And these are people who had really no idea about wrestling at all.
Yeah.
So they were very into it. That was cool. So my mom, she works at Home Depot, and one of her coworkers, her son, watches my videos. And she said that one day he was really late for the bus because he was watching my videos on YouTube. So my mom set up a thing where I got to meet him, and it was really sweet. He was really shy, and it was the cutest thing ever. And I still can't believe that happened. It was so cool. He didn't know that he was like meeting me, like his mom was going to surprise him. And then it was the cutest thing ever. Yeah, that was a highlight for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I'm curious. Did you get to? Okay, so you were there last year. Did you get to kind of I'm curious because I feel like every little town or every little city has its own like little unique or niche like restaurants or like places. Did you get to
Mhm.
go to any of those niche places? I'm curious to know like what is some of the niche places in Virginia?
This time I went to Chick's, and it's right on the water, and I had crab legs. I love crab legs. And so, being on the East Coast and right by
Yeah.
the marina, gotta have your crab legs with some Old Bay and your shuckers and like some butter. Mwah. I love seafood. I went there. Where else did I eat? So over on the East Coast, I'm sure you've heard of it. Have you heard of Moe's? It's like their version
We
of
yes. Oh, we have
Chipotle.
Moe's here. Oh yeah.
I love Moe's. We don't have that here. We don't have that here.
What?
I mean, obviously California, it's just very
Yeah,
authentic, and
yeah.
why would they have a Moe's? But man, Moe's is good. That queso, oh man. Um, well, let's see. You know what I do find funny is that like Hardee's and Carl's Jr. I go home, it's the
Yeah.
same restaurant, but it's called Hardee's, and over here it's called Carl's
Yeah.
Jr. That's pretty funny. I didn't eat there, but it's just funny when I'm like driving past it.
Yeah.
Um, hmm. I really did just try and hang out with family as much as I could. I got to
That's
see my
fair.
grandma, the cutest thing. I call
Mhm.
her Bubby. It's Jewish for grandmother. Um, she is the funniest thing in the world, I will say. Funniest lady you'll ever meet. I can't even put into words. Like she can't hear anything at all. So you'll be like starting a sentence, she's like, what? And you're like, you have to start over. And she goes, who? And I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But gotta love them.
Yeah, yeah. And I know kind of on the topic of food, your Instagram bio says that you're a foodie. So I need to know what are some of your go-to snacks?
Let's go to snacks. Well, with snacking, I try to like
Okay,
limit
so
on,
you're
but
healthy. Fair
like,
enough.
try to be. I really try to be, but I don't succeed. Man, I love cookies and sweets, girl.
What kind of
Oh,
cookies?
I love like any kind. I do like Oreos. The gluten-free Oreos, surprisingly, are really good, and I feel better when I eat them.
Mhm.
You're not, it's still really
Yeah.
bad for you, but it says gluten-free, so it's fine. Those are good if you want to, give those a try. I like to eat sushi a lot. I love all you can eat sushi. Um, I like to eat pizza. I like tacos. I like Taco Bell.
Oh,
I'm
Taco
garbage.
Bell.
Yeah,
No, no, I
that
love
was
Taco
so
Bell.
good. I call it the hexagon because one time I was just eating, I was like, oh man, I love this stupid little
Mhm.
hexagon. It's just a Crunchwrap Supreme, but
Yeah.
how it's just like a hexagon.
Mhm.
um, yeah, I can honestly eat anything and I'm just pretty happy with it.
I
Honestly,
wish. I'm honestly a very picky eater.
yeah,
But the
really.
things I love a lot.
Yeah, there
Um,
you
but I feel like we all have maybe some weird or unique like food combinations that we enjoy. I know like I don't know, like the pineapple on pizza is just one thing, but some people put like ranch on. I don't know if that's weird or whatever, but I know some people put ranch on their pizza. Do you have any like weird or unique food combinations? Okay, yes.
go. I do. Okay. Ramen noodles, Maruchan ramen
Yeah.
noodles. I'll eat that. But instead of using a fork, I'll use my nacho cheese Doritos as a fork, and I'll scoop the noodles with my nacho cheese Dorito. I know, it's so weird. I did it as a kid,
No.
and it carries to today. It carries to today.
That kind of a little bit reminds me of did you watch iCarly growing up?
Yeah.
It
The
kind of a little bit
spaghetti
reminds me of
tacos.
some spaghetti tacos because I mean
Yeah.
you kind of have the hard shell or whatever it is with like a noodle in it. So like it's kind of like that.
It's so good. It's a habit that I don't know how to break. So I won't even use a fork. I just use that Dorito chip, grab my noodles.
I mean, it cuts down a little bit on your dishwasher. So I'm just saying you don't even
Exactly.
have to clean it then. You're just
That's what I was going
you're
for.
being environmentally friendly because your fork just goes in your stomach.
Exactly.
It's so funny. But we were talking about California, and I feel like at least from an outsider's perspective, it seems a lot, obviously a bit about the glitz and the glam and of course acting. So I'm curious, have you had any aspirations to act in any manner? I mean, you obviously do some acting in pro wrestling, but like professionally or maybe amateurly, have you had any kind of dreams to act at all?
When I was a kid, I've always wanted to move out here. And even when I went home recently, I looked at my diary because I used to write down my feelings a lot. I wrote down all my feelings. I
Mood.
had so many diaries, which is so crazy. I'm so in tune with my feelings, I guess. But let me read it to you.
Okay.
It's a little embarrassing. I took a picture just because I was like dying laughing, just how I worded things.
Oh, is this the one you shared to IG? Because if you did, I already saw it.
That's one of them. That's
Okay.
one of them. Mind you, I was like 11. So
I
be
literally
kind.
still have a diary from when I was like 11, 12, 13, 14. Like, I get you.
So it says, Dear Diary, today I was so tired. I could barely keep my head up because last night I wasn't feeling good. I'm watching some weird show. Sometimes I can't wait till I grow up because I know exactly what I want to do. I want to be famous, but I have a while to go. When I think about it's time, I don't know what I wrote here. I can't read my handwriting. I think about it sometimes. It feels like it's going, oh my God, I can't read this.
It's
Anyways.
okay.
I wanted to be like a singer, someone who I really liked as a kid was Kelly Clarkson, which is weird just because
No, no,
I was
she
so
she I
young.
think is my second most listened to artist of all time.
Really?
Yeah, just
Okay,
fine
girl.
Carrie Underwood. Yeah.
I was in seventh grade listening to her debut album though, like not
Yeah.
even Breakaway, her debut album.
Mhm.
Like, that was all about like love and like
A moment like this.
hard, yeah, yeah. And Just Miss the Train, that was my favorite song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, who do I think I was listening to stuff like this? So I used to want to be a singer like that. And then of course I wanted to do acting, like be on Disney Channel or Nickelodeon. Like I
Mhm.
saw the Victorious kids and I was like, ooh, I
Yeah.
want to be Victorious. But of course that stuff never stuck. But you look at this stuff now, and I actually just read Jeanette McCurdy's book. It's just interesting to see a
Yeah.
different all of this stuff that we grew up with in a different light. So
Yeah, I've heard it's funny. I was exposed to that kind of through TikTok because I'm on like Disney
mm-hmm.
Channel slash like not nostalgia, like childhood a lot of the stuff with Alexa Nicholas too from Zoe 10 oh not Zoe, yeah, from
Yes,
Zoe 101 is
girl,
about the same thing
crazy.
about Dan Schneider and all that. Ended up down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And like I found out this thing about like Josh Peck and Jeanette McCurdy. Like I guess she was on his podcast, but
Oh,
then after it she said like don't like air this. It was just a whole thing. But yeah, like I've seen a bunch
yeah,
of it in a couple interviews that she's done about all that. It's crazy to like think about.
definitely. And it puts so much in perspective. And iCarly's on Netflix now. So I'll go
Yeah.
to specific episodes that she brings up in her book. And I'm like,
Mhm.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
And she's just a child, like suppressing her feelings
Yeah.
and like what she's actually going through. It's so wild.
Yeah, but especially around like California, Hollywood, sometimes, like we said, there's a lot of glitz in the glam, but I can imagine that a lot of people get lost in that sometimes. I don't know if you have yourself, but I'm sure you have at least at some point. So kind of between that and the wrestling world, how do you maintain a positive body image?
Man, it's hard, I must tell you. I think a fault that everyone in the whole world has is we all compare ourselves to other people. It's so
Oh,
easy to
yeah.
fall into that. I think
Mhm.
everyone is kind of a victim of that. We all go through our own things, but something I try to keep in mind is everybody is built differently, and it is okay that I'm given this body that I have. Um, I get a little insecure because I have, like, no matter how small or like lean I get, I have this pouch that I have, and I try and tell my gear makers, hey, can I get higher waisted stuff? Like, And if it doesn't end up working, like my pouch ends up coming out, and I'll watch my matches back and I see it. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like, come on. And I try not to beat myself up over it because no matter what, it's going to be there. And it's who I am, and it's like completely fine. So when it comes to like body positivity, I just try and, I look at, like the Disney stars, Selena Gomez, she's so beautiful, and like,
Yeah.
she transformed so much, and she's body positive right now. And I just look at role models like that, people who I've also looked up to growing up, and just see that they also go through the same thing, and just know that I'm not alone, and to just, you know,
Yeah, especially with her lupus and everything kind of
yeah.
affecting her, it affects the side effects. One of the side effects is your face like kind of blowing up a little bit. But
Mhm.
she's like the sponsor, well, the creator of her own beauty brand, and is just so amazing and like kind-hearted, it seems. And I'm glad you bring up gear, because I was gonna bring this up later, but since it kind of ties two things together, kind of obviously Nickelodeon and ring gear.
Uh-huh.
I know you previously said you got a lot of your ring gear inspired by some of the music artists that you love, such as Ariana Grande. But where
Yeah.
else do you look for inspiration when you are crafting or envisioning these gear designs?
So I try and make it my own in a way. So my new is gear that I have, the black one with the top, is Selena inspired. Uh, I just kind of I see how they designed it. I do something similar, but add a little bit of my touch with it. So instead of just like kind of like black and white, I'm gonna add colors because Milo's very colorful,
Yeah.
very like bold. I like maroons, so I asked if I could get like little maroons in there and diamonds, but I'm very minimalistic. I don't like anything too crazy, but I like classy. So what I try and always go for is minimalistic but really shiny. So it's hard to find that happy medium. I'm
Yeah.
actually trying to think of new gear right now, but I'm coming up short. So
Yeah. Yeah, I know you got the gems, or I don't know if they're crystals or what, on the
Mhm.
bustier of the one of them. Then obviously you have your
Yeah.
classic, I feel like, maroon gear. I
Mhm.
missed the cowboy hat, by the way. I loved that shoot.
Yeah,
Um,
thank
I
you.
love Cowboy Mylo. But I feel like I'm a big proponent of ring gear, because I mean it's a big way to express yourself. It presents your character. You can do so many things with it. Within the
Mhm.
scope of wrestling right now, who do you think has the strongest ring gear game or aesthetic?
Oh, strongest ring gear game. Jade Cargill, like amazing.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh, I love her gear. She kills it every time. Even when she's doing her cosplay, I'm like, oh girl, I love it. I love everything that she brings to the table.
Yeah, and I know she takes some inspo from like Marvel and stuff. Like she had
Mhm.
the Hulk gear the one time. I think she had
I
her
loved it.
silver hair kind of then. She's just been like she's had so many different like comic book pop culture inspired gear, and you can see it.
Mhm.
And she just looks
Definitely.
fantastic in like whatever, to be honest with you.
Oh, 100%. I really like how someone can get an inspiration and it shows. You're like, okay, I get it,
Yeah.
I love that. I love that it's very like obvious, like, oh, this is where she got it from and she killed it. I love that.
Yeah, and obviously talking about image, more so your name. The last time we talked last year, you kind of dropped the matters portion of your name since then,
Mhm.
and you've been more so by Mac Daddy Mylo or just Mylo. So what
Mhm.
prompted you to drop the matters in your name? Was that a conscious decision, or did it kind of just happen?
It kind of just happened. I I kind of thought like, oh, I kind of need a last name, so I just picked that. And then I
Yeah.
really thought about it and I was like, I don't know if I really liked it. It wasn't something that I saw with me in the long run. It was something that I was playing around with earlier in training in the very beginning of my career. But then I thought about just having just my name solo, like Mylo. I was like, I really like that. It rolls off the tongue. It's differentiates me from a lot of people. Um, I think like back to like Selena, Cher,
Mhm.
people with these one names, and it's just that Rihanna.
Madonna, yeah.
Exactly. If you just have that one name rolls right off the tongue, I just felt like that would have been a little better. And then the Mac Daddy moniker, I had a name for so long. And who gave that name to me? Myself, like back in like high school. So it's funny, it just carried with me for so long. That's actually been my username for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I somehow incorporated it into wrestling, and it's amazing.
For those who don't know, can you kind of explain what a Mac Daddy is or what it means?
So how I always envisioned it is like when you hear Mac Daddy, you think grande, large, like
Yeah.
larger than life. That's kind
Yeah.
of what I was going for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's kind of what I was going for, like how it's like, oh, the Mac Daddy of them all.
Mhm.
There's actually this food thing that I saw on Instagram where it's called like a Mac Daddy grilled cheese, and it was huge. It was just like this big yummy delicious grilled cheese with mac and cheese in it. Oh, so good. But yeah, that's kind of how I envisioned it. Everyone has their own interpretation of it, and that is completely fine.
Yeah.
I roll with the punches, I
I
take
feel like
whatever.
it can have like a kind of like swagger to as well, Mac Daddy. He just seems like a cool person, you
Exactly.
know? Like
So
I
many,
don't know how to explain it.
yeah, so many different interpretations, and I like them all. So
Now,
yeah,
I'm curious. Maybe somebody's brought this up before. Have you thought about going Mac Mommy?
Mac Mommy. This actually could be our tag name this weekend, huh? I'll message Rochelle. Let's get some brainstorming ideas. I think that would be a good one.
Although to be fair, Rhea Ripley's kind of got the mommy thing going
Oh
on right
yeah, that's true.
now,
That's
but
true.
like,
We'd
I
have to
mean,
spell it
you're not
definitely.
like you're not like super grunge though, you know?
Oh
So
no.
like I feel like it could still work for you. Like Mac Mommy, Mac Daddy. I don't know. You could do whatever. The Mac Daddies, the Mac Mommies. I love it. SpongeBob. Another classic of childhood.
I'm a very nostalgic person too, Ella. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
All those TikToks with the aquatic ambiance music in the back where it's like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's all my For You
And
page,
the ones with
girl.
the ones where the people fake where their pet going like dun, dun.
Yeah. Girl, that's my TikTok For You page too. Don't you worry.
Oh, that's so funny. Two more questions for you, kind of going back in time a little bit. Obviously been in wrestling for a little bit right now. How do you think that you've grown as a person and a competitor so far in the sport?
Wow. I've learned a lot since I started wrestling, and I thought I knew it all when I first started. I remember before I first started training, I was like, cool, I'm going to train and get signed to WWE. That's literally my mindset. And I feel like that's a lot of people's mindset
Mm-hmm.
going in. But I learned very quickly that is not the case. But I will say, since then, I did fall in love with the indies and the indie circuit, and it made me definitely have a new appreciation for wrestling, a different outlook on wrestling. I feel like I definitely grew into seeing the sport for what it is outside of what people already know from what they watched growing
Yeah.
up. I feel like I feel better about like my confidence when it comes to kind of also standing my grounds, just knowing my worth when it comes to certain things. And, I still obviously have a long way to go, but I've come so far since I started. And for that, I'm really proud.
You are, and we kind of took a reflection of the past, kind of looking towards the future now. I know you have your little planner handy. What is on the horizon right now for you personally and professionally?
So I got a new job. It's cool, indie wrestling can only pay for so much
Yeah.
before we get signed,
Oh yeah.
So I work at this cute restaurant in a garden, so that's really cool. It's a lot of open air, which I needed because I used to work in like really like tight condensed places where there's really no ventilation, and
Yeah.
I feel like that really kind of has effect on your mental health. So working inside like a garden where it's just all open air, I feel better. I'm excited to go to work. Like, who says that? And they're very flexible at wrestling. They're all interested in it. They allow me to get Fridays, Saturdays off, working some Sundays, but I have to tell them, by the way, there's some Sundays I can't work because I'm booked. It's funny because I told them, oh, I'm never really booked on Sundays, so I can do Sunday through Thursday. And now I'm starting to get booked on Sundays. How funny. So aside from May 13th, Queen of the Indies, my tag match with Rochelle Riveter versus Brooke Havoc and Johnny Robbie. I'm very excited about that one. I have New Tradition Lucha Libre, which will be on the 20th of May. That is a really amazing promotion here in California. It's in Palmdale. We run at a brewery. It's another promotion who I'm grateful for taking the chance on me. They're amazing if you want to check them out. They're on YouTube. I have a show in Vegas on the 27th. That is Double or Nothing weekend.
Yeah.
It is for Poder Wrestling. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, but I'm thinking it's a four-way tag match. Aren't those fun? I'm excited. Hoodslam on Friday the 2nd.
Where we get some more answers, hopefully.
Yes. June 2nd. Yeah, we got Hood Slam. June 3rd will be my debut for Rival Pro. I'm very excited. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I have a feeling it's something good. That one I'm really excited for because I've never really booked in Southern California and I live in Southern
Yeah.
California. So the fact that I can drive 30 minutes and then 30 minutes back and I'm home is amazing. I'm used to driving hours, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then June 4th, I have Full Queer, where I defend my tag belts I have with Barbie Boy. I don't know who we're facing it actually. Oh, I'm sorry. I do know who we're facing. I believe we were facing Dark Chic and Chupacabra. Very excited. Full Queer is another amazing promotion, like I said, who's taking a chance on me. All those, the promotions who I really feel like give me the time of day is I'm always going to give them the time of day and always prioritize their bookings over other ones just because it's a give and take relationship, you know.
I need you on the East Coast soon,
I
please.
would love to. Love to. I did wrestle for Second Wrestling. Do you
Yeah.
like that one in the Midwest? I wrestled for them when they were here for Mania weekend for their Jewish show, Mitzvah Mania. That was a lot of fun. I faced Chelsea Durden. I lost, but it's okay.
It's okay.
We'll get them next time.
You grow from it, the
Yeah,
losses, you grow from it. That's all that matters.
exactly.
By 2024, we need another date in the East Coast, please.
I love that. I would honestly love that more than anything because that's where, you know, I grew up. I don't know if there's any wrestling in Virginia or is there
Oh
any?
no, there is. I have a friend who's a wrestler who is based in Virginia. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I feel like I
There,
don't.
or if not, she wrestles in West Virginia, North Carolina all the time, right there.
Okay.
There's a little hub in there. There's a nice little hub in there.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. I'll have to check all these places out and
Mhm.
follow them, reach out, you know, do the whole shebang.
Exactly. But Mylo, of course, before we let you go, can you please share where the people can find you online?
Absolutely. You can find me on Instagram at MacDaddy, Twitter at MacDaddyMylo. I still haven't updated my TikTok yet, but
It's okay.
I'm on there, Mac Daddy Milo. So what I'm also into, Ella, is abandoned places. Like I want to start vlogging, like going
Mhm.
into abandoned places and just showing like the liminal space kind of thing. So that's what I'm trying to turn my TikTok into. So far, I'm coming up short, but
So it's funny because I was obviously doing research before this. Me and you actually have another shared. I don't even know how I ended up on this TikTok because I don't even drive. It's the little live-in vans that people have with their pets. I literally tell you, like, I think there's probably about 5 to 10 like TikTokers that I follow that are all about van life. Like,
oh, I love
it's one of my consistent things that pops up on I don't even drive, but there's especially one that like has two cats, or there's a couple that have dogs. It's so
Yeah,
cool and
yeah.
fascinating to me.
Oh my gosh, that would honestly be so perfect. I totally would love to do that. But
Yeah.
man, it's just like, you know what I think about is like, what if I break down in the middle of Idaho? What am I gonna do?
I mean, that's true. That's true. Because a lot of the time you have to have like the battery because they're battery powered a lot. Some of them actually, this one girl
Yeah.
yesterday, last night I was up watching it. She has solar panels on the top for to power it and a
Oh,
battery. So obviously it depends like what kind of weather and where you are. But she kind of has both, which I thought was really cool.
that's definitely cool. Oh man, van
Costs
life.
money though. That she gave kind of a breakdown of how much it costs to like renovate that whole thing. Oh my god, I think it was upwards of like 60K. Crazy. It's like renovate the
Huh.
whole thing and all that.
Yeah, that's a
Crazy.
lot.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But she doesn't pay rent, so
No,
and you can always
exactly.
sell it for more. I think somebody said, I don't even drive. And I know that the selling a lot of them sell in like the $100,000 range. So I mean she'll be making money when she sells it. But
Yeah, I saw this TikTok
crazy.
of people turning a school bus into one of those.
Yes. I've
Yeah.
seen one of those too.
Oh man, that's so cool. But that is a lot to renovate. You gotta
Yeah.
rip the chairs, like do all the other
It's
stuff.
so cool to see though. It's like, I mean,
Definitely.
it's kind of traveling. A lot of them they'll have like dogs or cats, so they're not like fully alone.
Yeah.
But it's imagine just being a cat or a dog. You're just traveling the world and just exploring all these places, and you don't have to pay rent.
Living the absolute life. I know Veda would love that.
Yeah,
She loves the outdoors. She loves being outside.
maybe.
Yeah. Maybe one day.
Maybe one day, but for right now, I would say you got a pretty nice, I don't know where you're based at in California, but I feel like there's a lot of beaches there. You got yourself a pretty nice place wherever you are, I feel like,
Yeah,
just in
I'm pretty
California.
happy.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Mylo, thank you so much for chatting with me here today. Of course, it's always a pleasure to chat with you, and hopefully we see you on the East Coast here soon.
Praying to the wrestling gods. Yes.
And of course, good luck in the Queen of the Indies event. That's going to be super fun. I'm so excited. Next year is going to be your year. We got to get you competing for it. This is just a little preview of
Preview.
for next year.
100%. Oh, I love you. Amazing.
Thank you so much, Mylo.
Yes, thank you. I had so much fun.